Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.
Hoy en Rutas Alternas tenemos el gusto de conversar con la agrupación Kero Kero Bonito, una de las bandas de Reino Unido que más hemos disfrutado recientemente, que están próximos a mostrar su segundo EP y que han estado labrando un camino muy interesante en el mundo de la música emergente desde Reino Unido. Y felizmente está la banda completa, así que saludamos a Sarah, a Jamie y a Gus. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, we're good, thanks.
Yeah.
Everyone is in your own house?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
properly.
it's one of the okay. It's one of the good things about the pandemic. We can get connected with all, no matter where are you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. In that sense, Gilberto, we are on the same plane. Finally.
Great.
On the great way, yeah. Worldwide.
Yeah. Exactly.
So guys, you have released a new single, you will release a new EP, but it took you a couple of years to make new music. What happened with the band during these 2 years?
That's a really good question. So we released our last proper album, Time and Place, in 2018, and then we basically went on a big tour, and that tour included our first appearance in Latin America. We played Corona Capital in Mexico City, and but we still haven't seen, we haven't gone south of Mexico. I mean, we actually had plans to do that, but then of course COVID hit, so we basically went on a big long tour, and then we had to stop all of our plans. And so one of the things we were planning was to release Civilisation II actually around the time we were going to play in Brazil and in America, but that didn't happen, so it ended up being delayed until this year, which is quite severe. But I think we're putting it all on a single mini album. It's just like a 6-track mini album, and I think that's a pretty cool souvenir, I think, of this very weird time. And I think the music is it actually works quite well for this strange time in human history. But we have also been working on another thing. Don't think we've been resting on our laurels, because we have some tricks up our sleeves still.
So Jamie, what can you tell us about the difference between these two Civilization EPs?
Apart from obviously time being released and stuff, there isn't on a conceptual element and the kind of process. The starting point isn't a huge difference. You can treat them as the 6. However, there was a little bit of time in between, so we're able to kind of see how that first stuff fitted into the world and how it fitted into our fan base. So we had a bit of kind of hindsight in that sense, but the second one is actually split up into 3 tunes, which is one in the past, one in the present, and one in the future, in that order as well.
Oh, cool.
And but the process, as I say, is still the same kind of keyboards being used and same kind of equipment. But I would say that there's some slight production differences. I would say it's slightly bigger and bolder, potentially. The last track on the EP maybe couldn't have been on that first one. So I would say that, yeah, it's a bit, the production's actually slightly different.
And Sarah, talking about that, I read that you write the lyrics for the songs in English and in Japanese, right?
Yes, yeah.
How was that?
Sorry, what was the question?
How do you do that? How do you think?
How do I write in both languages?
Yes, because it's a very different language, right?
Yeah, I guess I grew up speaking both languages. So to me, English and Japanese is one language in my head.
Okay.
So I feel like, because there's so many things you can say in Japanese that's different to English. It's I don't know, it's just, to me, I get to play with double the material. So I enjoy it because I get to kind of fully express myself. because like, yeah, so to me it's one language, so I prefer writing like that, like, yeah.
And how was sharing with Jamie and Gus these lyrics in Japanese? Or this was only for you?
Well, yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, but what do you guys think?
Well, we don't know if she's tricked us yet. She's still
Okay.
might. No.
We still haven't learned that much.
I just send the Japanese lyrics, and yeah, no questions.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Sounds great. Exactly.
I mean, music is a universal language, but to think in actual different language is important because you can have more concepts to talk about, more stories to share. I don't know. I think it's great to have creation in different language.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that like there is no rules in music, so like why not like use 2 language or 3 language or whatever feels good. Like I feel like, yeah, you should do what feels right, and yeah, to me it's that.
So Gus, I read that you actually use some old hardware, some vintage hardware to make the EP.
Yeah.
How was that?
So, I mean, me and Jamie are pretty big synth nerds, so we have all kinds of stuff, and we've got a lot, we've got a lot of software. Like we love using new equipment as well, and computers. But we always like getting our hands dirty with these crazy old bits of gear. And it's funny because I mean they are harder to work with. It takes a lot longer, to cut a track. It could take half an hour to do one part, whereas on a VST on a computer you just like click done. But I think it does lead you to a different songwriting place. And also it was interesting on this EP because the Civilization project explores this idea that it's called optimism, which is that if you go back through history and explore the sort of possibilities that history has suggested but didn't happen at the time, or things that could have been done before but weren't, but then if you try those things out later, like now, then you actually are creating a parallel universe of what could have happened. This is where music could have gone, and if you do keep doing that, then you end up with a parallel timeline. So this is where music could be today if it had gone a different way. So you can actually create a kind of parallel universe by using this equipment and trying to make the most futuristic and modern music you can, which is a bit different to just trying to make something modern with modern equipment, where you're just kind of starting from a blank. So I don't know, what do? Do I just copy what's in the charts? I don't know. Whereas this way you can actually create your own universe, your own conception of what music could do, which is very exciting for us.
It's very interesting how you have this kind of concept about the future, about parallel present. I don't know, maybe some dystopic future. It's important for you to think about these things that could happen, that had happened.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I'd say the Civilization project is our tribute to that, all those concepts. Absolutely. And I think that our thing is that we've always wanted to make pop music. We've always wanted to fulfill the potential of pop music. We've always wanted to make the most exciting pop music we could imagine. We've always wanted to show what pop music can do, because there are so many great records out there, but there's also so much more that it can do. And I think that by thinking about these things in this way, it kind of changes your perception. So you start to realize, what could we actually achieve here, and I think that that's the really, really interesting idea. And of course it also reflects, as humans, our own uneasy perspective on history and what will happen in the future and what our place is in the world.
Is that thing, Jamie, to think about the civilization right now? What are we doing? What aren't we doing? I don't know. It's hard to think about us, about the things we do and the things that we don't do.
I was going to add one more thing as well. It's like a interesting play on like present and past and all this, because our song "When the Fires Come," that's in the, it's saying what the fires are on their way potentially, but that obviously was a song that was inspired by a real fire that we actually witnessed on the west coast of America. So this kind of seeing something in real life happening and then putting it through this process, you know. So it's actually quite an interesting thing. It's like it's all well and good thinking about what could happen, but it's also quite important about thinking about what's right in front of us right now. And there wasn't many songs about wildfires and stuff. So it's like, you know,
that's true.
Okay.
I think we were surprised. I think that's a good point. I think we were surprised that there weren't more songs about it. And I think that, you know, it's about really zooming out of our perspective and looking at history as a whole and going, well, you know, we're familiar with things like cave paintings and the Bayeux Tapestry and Machu Picchu, whatever. But what are we leaving? You know, what is our tribute to now? It's about filtering our experience of right now through that kind of scale.
It's something that many civilizations have tried to do, right? To take this big picture about what happened during the period, what happened with them. Not all of the people, of course, but some people in some civilizations have a good reflection about what they do and what they didn't do.
Yeah. Well, I always find it hilarious that one of the periods of British history is called the Dark Ages, because everyone was like, no one was smart enough to like keep a record. Like, everyone knows. Yes. Like, it's crazy, you know.
So, Sarah, you have as a band a lot of perspective with the support of radio stations in the UK and a lot of blogs or digital media. How important is for you to still reach more audience through the traditional media or the new digital media?
Oh, that's interesting. I think both are really like is needed. I don't know, there's some really interesting like new ways to like, I don't know, promote music or like show music, and like for example, like we started Twitch recently, and that's like a new thing, and it's like totally like, I don't know, I wouldn't have like thought about doing that. Like it's like really new and exciting, and I think the new's great, the old's great, like
And during this yes, please, Gus.
Oh yeah. I think so. It's right with the Twitch thing. That was a really interesting, crazy thing we'd never experienced. And something I've witnessed a little bit is that you can it's almost not that you would categorize a band based on genre in this day and age, like, oh, you're a metal band or you're a rap act or whatever. It's almost more that you would categorize them by platform. Like you'd say, oh, Jack Stauber, he's a YouTube artist. Like Mitski's, you know, maybe more like a Pitchfork or like late night TV artist or something. Or so Lauv is a Spotify artist. Like you can almost qualify them based on the medium because of the way the medium encourages the usage of a certain kind of music. You know, TikTok encourages very hyperactive in your face music. Spotify encourages music that works well on a playlist. But you know what? I think that the most exciting thing you could do is to break through all of those platforms, actually. Because it's true that there is amazing music that, you know, Brian Eno might have been the Spotify of the 70s, but then at the same time, you know, Divine, that's like a performance thing, or someone like that, or like David Bowie or whoever, you know. And actually, like, all of these things were interesting, and I think we would love to smash down the boundaries between them, you know.
Yes. Yes, I think that during this pandemic, we have the opportunity to learn new things, to apply new things to music industry, and keep with the good things. And maybe this year, I'm pretty sure that we will return to the normality as we know it. But some of these things, like streaming or this kind of interviews, are going to remain.
Certainly.
Yeah. And like, you know, there's no, I mean, you know, it's funny. One thing that often happens in the music industry is that things that were innovations that occurred for a certain set of under a certain set of conditions will live on almost as just like an icon. So, for example, vinyl existed because it was a convenient, you know, it was pre-digital, the technology existed, there was a lot of vinyl, you know, it was an easy way of it also was, you know, profitable, etc. But it has ended up becoming are sort of like ossified as this icon, and that stuff's undeniable. You know, I mean, I think we're all into the iconography of music, and there's nothing. I mean, I think one thing that I hope I will ensure, like, work hard to make sure music never loses from our side is, for example, the fact that we can talk to you now and actually talk about the music and the culture, and that, you know, there may be platforms that don't encourage that side of the conversation, but I think, you know, I imagine it's true for you as well, that so much of the music we love is a universe, as you know, and it is I mean, of course, we're about the music, but you know, the world of David Bowie wouldn't be the same if it was just tunes with a blank cover. You know what I mean? And that the excitement of what it says about culture goes way beyond music, actually. You know, and we want to, as much as we're about making pop music as fun as it and interesting as it can be, like, we're a big tribute to that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're gonna have a Civilisation II on April 21. And are you making some streaming to make a party to celebrate the album?
We actually will be doing something, but it's top secret at the moment.
Oh, cool.
So keep an eye on that. We will be announcing that, and yes, there will be something. So look forward to, expect that. It will be around that time as well.
So we're gonna follow all your social media to get sure not lose your stream. And also look forward to see you here in Mexico, Sarah. You haven't played here, and I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of fans in Mexico.
Yeah, I'm excited to play. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed playing Corona Capital. Like, I would love to go back, and like, yeah, definitely, I'd love to do a tour in Mexico.
Cities,
definitely.
Yes, because Corona Capital is a very cool festival, but it's also a very different festival from the one that happened in the UK or in Europe. I mean, the festivals here in Mexico and maybe in the US are very, very different. Not only the infrastructure, but I don't know. I think it's different. Even the time in the festivals in Europe and the UK are in summer, and here are in the fall, maybe winter.
Right.
Well, I tell you. Oh, sorry, really quick, Jamie. This is a adjacent point. You can't get tamales and hot chocolate outside of festivals in the UK. But in a way, it's maybe for the best that you can only get them properly done in Mexican festivals. But anyway, sorry, Jamie. I just had to say that.
That I was actually going to say that earlier as well. We signed 150 autographs at Corona Capital, and I'm happy personally to keep signing 150 at a go all over Mexico, like 100%. It was a privilege. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I know this kind of contact, their contact with your fans. It's very important, and
it was so cool.
It was the first time like interacting with fans from like Mexico, and yeah, it was like amazing, like how
It's very different, Sarah, when a fan writes you through social media. Oh, hello, I'm from Mexico. But when you see them live and have a chat and have an autograph, buy your music, your merch, I think it's an amazing experience.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So look forward, guys, to see you here again in Mexico, but not only in a festival. So you can travel around the country and make your own show here in Guadalajara or Monterrey, Mexico City, of course.
Everywhere, yeah.
Guadalajara comes up on our Spotify statistics, so hey, like, I want to hook that up. Let's hook that up.
You're very welcome here. I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact that a lot of people love your music because I have played in my radio show, and there's a lot of interaction. You have a great sound. You're an amazing band, and I think it's very important to have in Mexico new emerging independent bands that are in growing, right?
Yeah, well, and Mexico is a very interesting. I mean, you know, you don't need me to tell you this, but it is, you know, there's a lot of very interesting cultural stuff happening in Mexico, especially now. And I think that it's interesting that a lot of very cutting edge acts, you know, for example, Jack Stauber, he's very, very big in Mexico, and I think Mexico comes up very high for someone like that, and he's I would argue quite a cutting edge artist in the way he presents himself. And I think that there are a lot of people in Mexico that are ready, like it's happening, like it's something very exciting is totally it's already happening. Things like Nortec Collective are really interesting. But also there are a lot of kids who are into a lot of music from all over the world, and that only leads to one thing, more exciting music. So
absolutely,
I think it's a really interesting time in that respect, definitely.
Well, guys, looking forward to listen Civilisation II on April 21 through Polyvinyl. How was working with Polyvinyl during these years?
Oh yeah, they're lovely. Yeah, they're really they've basically let us do whatever we want, which is quite dangerous. They're very trusting, and I think it's worked really well. We felt comfortable to do things we really care about, and they're really, really good at making sure everyone in USA and Mexico hears it, and Canada is one.
They really care about music, them guys. Them people, them lot.
Yeah.
So we can buy the vinyl, or are you gonna publish in vinyl your EP, right?
We have something fun planned.
Okay, so I'm gonna buy it if you will release it.
Oh yeah, we'll figure. We can work something out. Yeah.
Great, guys. So looking forward to see you here in Mexico, or maybe we can meet each other in the UK in the fall. When the festivals and the shows return. I'm pretty sure that will happen. I really appreciate this conversation.
Oh no, thanks.
Thanks for having me. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thanks for your support. Always really appreciate that, truly.
I appreciate this. Sarah, Jamie, Gus, thank you so much for this chat with Rutas Alternas.
Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.